In this video, I will be going over the use of virtual reality in surgery and preparation for surgery. An overview: in this video, I will discuss the new implementation of virtual reality in modern surgery, how it has changed the way surgeons prepare for their procedures, the cost effectiveness of using VR over traditional ways to prepare for surgery, and different ways it has affected healthcare, and what it can do to improve the quality of modern medicine. So for conventional readiness for surgery, this is the way that surgeons are preparing for their surgeries right now. Today, surgeons will mentally and physically prepare before their surgeries. Surgeons meet with many different colleagues to map out the surgery and look at different results, such as the CT and MRI scans. Again, surgeons are meeting with many different modalities in the hospital to plan out the surgery, meeting with scrub nurses, planning out themselves, and also meeting with CT technicians and MRI technicians. The surgeon will then go through the steps in their head, such as certain incisions that they need to make, and then they will also create a mental map in their head of where they need to go with the surgery. Also, with that mental map, he will go through physically the motions with his hands and practicing where he needs to make those incisions. So before surgery, the surgeon will get a full night's sleep. Usually in the morning for surgery, he's not going to drink any coffee or any type of energy drink so that he can avoid hand tremors. Um, he's just going to try and eat as much as he can in the morning so that he can have as much energy as possible for the surgery. So the way surgeons are using VR to prepare for their surgeries, it has really changed the way surgeons have prepared for their surgeries now. So with this augmented reality that we have now with VR, it takes the CT scans and the MRI scans and it builds a 3D model on this program that the hospital buys. And it takes every angle, and the surgeon is actually able to go into the 3D model and see where the issue is. Now, they use this 3D model to again map out where they need to go for the procedure. It's much more effective mentally than using the conventional CT and MRI results because it's only a 2D model, but with this 3D model, they're able to actually see everything and where they need to go. And again, they're using these 3D models with medical students. It's very beneficial to use them with medical students because we can condition them and prepare them for all of the new technology that is coming to healthcare almost on a daily basis. So, a few advantages of using virtual reality for surgery. Again, medical students, they can get that virtual hands-on training with those VR headsets. So not only do surgeons use VR to prepare for surgery, but they're also using it in different areas of healthcare, such as paramedics. So with paramedics, they're actually creating real life scenarios for the paramedic in school so that they can get a feeling of how it would be in that situation. So by the time that they get to the real world, they already have the emotion and what they need to do in those certain types of situations. Also in healthcare, they're using VR for patients. They can show what the patient can do to improve their health. Like, say, for instance, the patient is a smoker. Um, Quitting smoking can improve your lungs. So what this augmented reality is doing is it's showing the patient the effects of not smoking anymore and what it can do to their lungs. And they can use that VR headset to show them what it would do. Finally, the best advantage of using VR in the medical field is obviously reducing medical errors and improving overall quality and satisfaction of care. Now, there are a few disadvantages of using VR. One major disadvantage is obviously going to be price. These headsets can range between $300 to $500, and these programs can go from $30,000 to almost $500,000 to get these programs in the hospitals. So, having this increased cost of just doing the way that they're doing things the way that they're doing right now, it's going to be hard for these like lower end hospitals to even afford this type of technology. So these higher end hospitals, these city hospitals in big cities, they're able to afford things like this to improve their quality of care. Um, Traditionally, surgeons use those CT and MRI results, but in order to use the VR, it's going to cost more money. Also, there's a lack of knowledge. VR is a newly introduced technology to medicine, so there's really not much data to back it up. They have these surgeons that have been in the field for almost 30 years, and they've been doing the things that they've been doing for that long, and they've perfected what they need to do. And introducing um, this new technology it's going to be difficult. Again, a few barriers for adoption. Wanting change is a big thing in healthcare. It seems like no one wants to change anything. But when it comes to VR with surgery, surgeons can sometimes be skeptical, like I said before. Um, Something else to consider is the computer itself. So these surgeons, when they prepare for surgery, they're using all of these like supercomputers and all these really high, fast computers, but when they're using the VR headset, it's not that big of a computer in there. It's really small, so your resolution is going to go down. You're not going to get as high quality photos. So, again, that's going to be a barrier whenever this technology comes more relevant into the medicine field. And lastly, cultural and geographical issues can arise. Culturally, there's a lack of interest in this technology. And again, geographically, like I said before, these big city hospitals, they can afford this technology, but these more rural hospitals, it's going to be hard for them to budget this amount of money. So my expectations for this technology, I say within the next 10 years, VR is going to be adopted nationwide. I can see this becoming the new way surgeons prepare for surgery. Lower funded hospitals, those rural hospitals, they're going to be able to afford VR. Um, I feel like the cost of VR is just going to go down over the years because it's going to be more widely used. So, right now it's a very high commodity and it's a very new technology. So it's very expensive to make. So I would say within the next 10 years again, this VR is going to be a lot more available to these lower end hospitals. More coverage will be available for VR. Some hospitals have plans that they use, and some of these plans don't cover virtual reality and augmented reality. Again, in the next decade or so, there's going to be a lot more improvements in these areas that VR will be able to make its way into medicine. And here's my bibliography of all of my sources. Thanks again for everyone watching. I really appreciate it, and y'all have a great day.